Welcome to St. Columba's Daily Bread. I'm the Reverend Lloyd, and I'd like to talk to you today about one of my favorite topics, and that is finding God at home. We all know the metaphor for our spiritual life as a spiritual journey where we're called to be outside of our comfort zone and to rely on God to get us through tough times and into new relationship with God, new understandings of Jesus Christ. And this has been an experience and a metaphor that has sustained people through the centuries. And it's not one to be cast aside, but I'd like to bring alongside of it another metaphor, and that is God at home. In fact, Jesus did many of his healings and teachings in people's homes. He started out in the Gospel of Mark by healing Simon Peter's mother-in-law in her home. He ended the Gospels in someone's home where he washed people's feet and celebrated the meal of bread and wine that later became the Holy Eucharist and the Lord's Supper. He appeared to the disciples in hiding in a home. He came through the door of the home into the upper room. He made his home at Capernaum, according to the Gospel of Mark. He himself had a home. And if you look throughout the Gospels, you can find places where Jesus argued with people, healed people, taught people, criticized people in their homes and in his home. So there's a long history of God at home, from our Celtic roots to our Hebrew roots, too many to go into at this point. But I'd like you to think about, as we're homebound together and apart in these days, where God is for you in your home, and how you can come to know God in this time of isolation and separation, or for some, too much closeness as we're housebound with many people in small places, trying to do our work, trying to give our children an education, trying to care for others, and can't get away. That sounds like a first century home to me in some ways. However, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework to kind of find a way to find God in all the messiness of this pandemic. So first of all, I'd like you to think about finding a space in your home, a little corner, a room if you have it, but probably you don't, where you can set aside some space to be holy space. It can be a permanent spot or something you set up on a regular basis. What would be in that spot? What would make that little corner of your house feel holy? A candle, a little bowl of water to represent baptism, a holy book, any kind of thing, a plant, something that is honored in your home, a rock from the beach, something from the top of the mountain, something from your garden, just to set aside like you would set the table to set this holy place in your home as a center of finding God at home, a place to be with God. The second thing I think you could do if you wanted to, a little intellectual exercise, is to go online to this website called bible.oramus.org. Oramus.org is a research spot where you can type in a word like the word home or house and find all the places in the Bible where that particular word is used. You can type in love, you can type in dog, you can type in heaven, you can type in angel, and it takes you to all kinds of places where you can read up on what your scripture says. These two resources for your spiritual life at home can help you to begin to find where God is working in your home, where God is pushing and pulling you, inviting you, sitting in your holy space, reading a story, reading from the Bible, doing some research, can be a time where you can grow in your faith, where you can invite your family to do things together, to listen to stories, to share questions, to wonder what's going on, why it's happening, who we are, and where we are. All of these things are helpful in a time when things are upside down and stressful, to just focus and center, to light your candle, to sit down, to open a book, to find something online that you can share together, or, if you need it, to have some time alone. So I hope that you will find exploring what it means to find God at home an exercise or a challenge or a comfort in these days ahead, because God is our home and God is our refuge. Amen.